Do your research. Don't get stung with this shit. Absolute fucking joke this is. For something that's only $200 cheaper than ours, definitely not getting what you pay for. G'day guys, Jamie here from JMax Engineering. We have a very special and controversial video that we're going to be showing you guys today. We found another snorkel on the market and we purchased this snorkel for R&D and to educate you on what to look out for when you're looking for your next snorkel. The first thing we always look at is how the product is packaged. It's very flimsy. Just flapping around in there. So I'll be surprised if this is not already damaged. We've got some foam blocks to protect it. As you can see, the snorkel was just sitting in there, just smashing around in there. We've got all the adapter and stuff in there just hitting against the snorkel. As you can see, it's actually already punched through the box. Very flimsy box. So we've got the snorkel itself, adapter, pinch weld, hose clamps, flexi. We've got some instructions, fixing screws, nice hand-drawn template. So a two-piece, so I must have to put that together. I'm as excited as you guys are. All right. So this is actually for a Nissan Y62 Patrol. This is a short entry, supposedly. So the snorkel's not damaged, which is a good sign. So we ordered this one in a polished finish. Looking over it, the polishing job is actually pretty good. Down here, it's all blended in pretty nicely. A bit of a step in here. There's actually a really bad step through there. Not too sure if you can see that in the light. That's a big lip on there. When you're spending about $2,000 on a product, that's probably something that you'd want to look out for. All right, so if you look down the end here, this is the snorkel reducer where they're stepping down from 5" to 4". As you can see, it's all pretty hand cut, very agricultural looking. There's even texture marks. As I say, the attention to detail. Very old school style of doing it. On the top here, I've actually covered the logo. Again, this is not to name and shame any other brand. Looks like our pillar bracket. It's all laser cut. Like I say, there's even texture marks on here. Hold on, because we're actually gonna chop this snorkel in half because this snorkel has a snorkel silencer. So we're gonna have a good look at that. Template. I don't even know what to say about this. This is pretty, well, I say you're spending $1,000 on a product and you get a hand-drawn template with a lot of room for error. Let's say if you're a couple mil out here, you're going to be out on your cutout, and that pinch weld isn't going to do jack shit. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable giving that to any of our customers. Pinch weld. As you can see, it's a pretty small pinch weld. You might think that smaller is better. I can tell you right now that smaller is not better. When you're doing an install at home, if you don't get this cut out 100% right, you have no wiggle room with this pinch weld. So ours is a little bit larger, so it allows you to fill in any little imperfections, making it your cut out nice and tight on the guard. This is an adapter to the factory airbox. That is pretty horrible. But as you can see, the quality of that, that's what you pay for, and that's what you get. Another thing to look out for too is your hose clamps. Be careful of all these worm drive hose clamps with the splits in them. So what we've found is when you tighten these up, all it does, you're just relying on that small bit of material. They don't tighten up, they just strip. Any pressure on that at all, they just strip. These are no good. The flexi pipe. One thing to really watch out for is you can get some cheap shit, or we use polyurethane. Polyurethane is the best flexi pipe on the market. So polyurethane won't rip through here. As you can see, this stuff's ripping pretty easy. Polyurethane from Italy, good quality. Not even rip it. Oh. It just doesn't rip. Their instructions here, pretty detailed instructions with photos. If you look at this closely, on this kit specifically, it said that there was no inner guard cutting included, but I can clearly see that this is cut out through here. As you can see, this is all taken out. So not too sure if these are old photos. Nissan Patrol Y62 short entry. This is section 13. I've just highlighted here. We recommend compressing the flexi hose slightly before feeding through the guard. This will allow it to pass through easily. Okay. This is a piece of 4-inch pipe. You physically can't get 4-inch from your snorkel through the guard. There's only 75 mil between the structural member and the guard. Here we have that piece of 4-inch pipe. As you can see, we've got 100 mil, so 4-inch. This is the flexi pipe that they supplied. This fits in there quite easily. So if we measure the outside diameter of that pipe, or the flexi, we've got about 117 mil. So that's much larger than 4-inch. I've attached the flexi to the snorkel. I have a piece of 3-inch pipe here, which is about 76 mil, so just as a bit of a reference and guide. So through the guard, we've got that much room, 76 mil. We've got a piece of 4-inch, not even 4-inch, actually 4.5-inch. And we're going to squish that down. Lightly compress that pipe to 75 mil. Are you kidding me? Okay, we've slightly compressed our hose to about 76 mil. That's going to sit on the end of the snorkel like so, and the hose clamp somehow. Then that there is going to wedge in through your guard and your structural member. And the pressure and the tension that's going to be on that, this thing is going to last 1 week before that splits through here. And that is just not professional. That is a shortcut. And congratulations, if you want to plumb your snorkel up using that pipe, you've made it through the guard without cutting your structural member. You're almost better off cutting your structural member out than deforming your pipe like that and jamming that between your guard. Okay, so I prepared something a little earlier. This is our kit for our short entry Y62 snorkel. This is the airbox adapter plate, or for the factory airbox. This has all powder coated nicely, nice rolled edges, oval shape, so you don't have to cut any of the inner guard. Both 4-inch inlet, if you can see. Ours is 4-inch, it's an oval shape, but it's still a true 4-inch the whole way through. That's night and day. Hose clamps, like I mentioned before, see they're see-through? These aren't see-through, they're a solid band, and they pull that nice and tight, and it takes more torque to strip them. So these are a good quality clamp. We don't use any flexi in our short entry snorkel. So it's all silicon and stainless, 4-inch the whole way. This is the difference between the two sizes. As you can see, it's almost double the size. You've got a lot more wiggle room and a lot more to play with to fill up any holes in your guard. It's much better pinch weld. Here's our kit here, so do our template and checklist for our instructions. Again, we've got all detailed step-by-step instructions, stubby holder, key lanyard, all that stuff, air freshener, all these goodies you get. Template. As you can see, our templates are all digitally done, so there's no room for error, no hand drawing here. We've got a scale tool from 0. This one here is 570 mil, so it gives you a big scaling tool. Just to ensure that your template's 100% before you start cutting. The worst thing you want to do is cut your template and it's not scaled correctly. It's much, much better, and I know I prefer that over hand-drawn template like that. Got one of our snorkels, short entry snorkels, very similar, same but different. Look at the end of here. As you can see, ours is a lot different on the end. So the reason why I've made the end of our snorkels like this is because there's no way to get through that guard and through that cavity 4-inch in a round shape through the guard without any cutting of the structural member of the vehicle. When we did the design, we looked at doing a similar style to this, but we knew that we couldn't do it without cutting any member out. So that's one thing to really look out for. And we've actually got on here, this is a drain and with a one-way water drain goes on here. So it's actually got a water diverter, catches any water, diverts it out before it even gets into your box. With this one here, this has no water drainage system at all. On the top here, the pillar bracket, you'll see that our pillar brackets are welded on completely. So we don't do any bolt-on style like this. Few reasons why we don't do a bolt-on bracket. So been doing this for a long time now, had a lot of stories, heard a lot of stories of people having their snorkel stolen. Let's say there's 3 bolts. Don't do the 3 bolts, someone rips your snorkel off and runs off down the street. So with this here, we mount ours inside the door jamb with pot rivets. You physically can't get to the pot rivet, so you can't get them off the vehicle unless you can open the door. Okay, so the main reason why we purchased this snorkel is for what's inside this snorkel. So this actually has a snorkel silencer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this in half. Yep, it's pretty scary. We're gonna cut this snorkel in half and show you what's inside. Okay, so we've cut the snorkel now. Now let's see what's inside. Let's see what this snorkel silencer is all about. Can you see that? Okay. Right, we'll see if I can try and pull that out, because it actually doesn't look like that's not welded in there at all. Let's try and get that out and see what your $200 silencer looks like. Yeah, well, it's definitely not welded in. Wow. It's an absolute fucking joke, this is. So we've got some mesh that looks like it's just rolled up. Stainless steel, that's a good start. We've got some material here, which I'm not exactly sure what that even is. And that's it. We have a look inside. Nothing else in there. That's $200 and your silencer. I would be flat out embarrassed if that's what I was selling as a silencer. So I want to go over several issues here. We'll start off with the first and major thing. It was just sitting in there. So over time, that's just going to rattle down the snorkel, fall apart, and just collapse. And that there is just going to get sucked into your airbox. We've got some mesh here. Not too sure. That's just to hold it, try and hold this foam in place to try and deaden the sound as much as I can, trying to replicate one of our silencers. So yeah, not a lot of R&D has gone into the design of that, that's for sure. Looking at this foam that they've used for a sound deadening product, it looks to me like an open cell foam, which means it's porous, it's going to soak in moisture, it's going to be soaking dust, dirt, and it's not antibacterial, so over time that's just going to rot and break down and fall into your snorkel. And it should upset you if you've purchased a snorkel claimed to have this silencer in it, because that is junk. If anyone's ever been to the 4x4 Melbourne show, they would have seen our snorkel silencer stand there, demonstrating and showing our silencer. We haven't released too much on it for this very reason. We put a lot of R&D into our design to ensure that we're selling a product that actually works. It's not going to deteriorate, it's not going to rattle, fall it down in your snorkel and block it up. It's a quality product and it's got a patent pending. So this is why you see shit like this on the market, you need to be careful of. A lot of research has gone into it, a lot of time, energy and effort, and to see this stuff, people trying to create a silencer and you're getting flogged with one of these, it's very upsetting. So if you're in the market for a snorkel and you want a snorkel silencer, do your research. Don't get stung with this shit. Give us a call. We have the best snorkel silencer on the market. All right, so I'm gonna finish up here. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're gonna do a lot more educational videos like this, just to help you understand and know exactly what you're buying. There's a lot of products out there that are cheap, they're nasty, and in this case, this snorkel is a pretty expensive snorkel. This is not much cheaper than what we sell. We're priced, but it's quality. We put a lot of time and effort in it. For something that's only $200 cheaper than ours, you're definitely not getting what you pay for, as you can clearly see. At the end of the day, it's your vehicle, it's your pride and joy. Put on your vehicle what you'd like. But if you want quality, speak to us. Cheers.